I decided to make some sweetbread for a snack, and I'm using one of my mock pineapple, the shredded zucchini, and I thought I would bring you along. I just went in the pantry and checked to see what we have and looked at some different recipes, and I'm kind of combining them. But I'm going to drain the zucchini, and I want to save the pineapple juice to use. So, and by the way, welcome to Pike Creek Farm. My name is Renee, and thank you for joining me today. I like to do videos on baking and canning and vintage recipes and just life here at Pike Creek Farm. So I'm trying to get the juice out, but it's pretty wet, but that's okay because that adds moisture to the bread, and that's never a bad thing. We don't want a dry bread. So there is the zucchini, and if you've never made this, it tastes just like pineapple. It's amazing. I wanted to make some, and I never got to it this year, as tidbits, because I've heard that's really good to go in salads and on pizza and just to eat. So trying to get some more of the juice out here. And I'm going to add blueberries to this, and I'm going to use some Thrive Life freeze-dried blueberries. I didn't have any fresh fruit in the house to use, so I'm taking advantage of my pantry. And I've been trying to do that more and more often because it's why I stocked the pantry. So I'm going to put the blueberries into the pineapple juice to rehydrate them, so they will have that wonderful pineapple flavor. And just stirring them up. Now, my granddaughter will just eat the blueberries the way they are from the can. And I will too. But you got to watch out because it leaves blue seeds in your teeth. So I'm going to add some more, and I'm just eyeballing this. I probably ended up with at least a half a cup, maybe 2/3 of a cup of blueberries. And I'm going to set that aside so it will rehydrate. And now we will start mixing the batter. And I will try and put this recipe down below. I'm going to use some of my farm eggs. I have 2. And I'm going to crack them into the bowl. And usually I try to put them in something separate first. And I didn't today. I guess I was just in a hurry and just wanted to get her done. So now I'm going to use my dough hook and just mix up those eggs. Just combine them some, and then I will add the other ingredients. I'm going to use some brown sugar. Going to add a half a cup, and I need to add some more brown sugar into my containers. That time of the year where brown sugar is getting used a lot. And these containers I have keep it really nice and soft. So I will mix up some more brown sugar in the near future. Next, I am going to add some white sugar, same amount. So I'm using half and half white, half brown sugar. Now I'm going to add a half a cup of vegetable oil. You could use coconut oil that's melted. You could use avocado oil. You don't want to use anything too strong. And then this is my special ingredient. Instead of adding like cinnamon, I'm going to add cocoa butter. Not cocoa butter. Cookie butter. We get it at Costco, not very often. My daughter just got me another jar. So I'm going to add, it's about a half a cup of it, 1/3 of a cup, and mix that in with it. And it will give that warm, spicy flavor. Now, I will tell you, I meant to add the vanilla, and I never added the vanilla. So next time I make this, I will add a teaspoon of vanilla. But the cookie butter did give it a really nice flavor and helped with the color of it and added a little more moisture and oil to it. And it was really a nice undertone. It didn't overpower. You could add more to make it even a stronger flavor. Now I'm going to add the blueberries, and I just tasted one to make sure that they were soft, and they are, and I'm going to drain off that extra juice because I don't want that much liquid going into my bread. It would be a little too sloppy. So I'm going to drain that and come back and stir them in. I decided I need to add the blueberries towards the end. So now I am adding in my flour. I am doing 2 cups, and this is during hunting season, so Jim was getting ready to go out. So there's 2 cups of flour, and I'm going to also add some baking soda. And I will put all the measurements down below. There's a 1/2 teaspoon. And I'm reaching for my baking powder right now. I should have had it out, but I didn't. So here's going to be a 1/2 teaspoon of baking powder also. And now some salt, because you got to have salt for the flavor and also for the leavening. So a 1/2 teaspoon of salt. So it's pretty simple. I like quick breads because they come together quick. You don't need any special equipment, and they're good for breakfast or snack or dessert. And they always get eaten in this house. And I like to do some variations, not always the same one. One of my favorites is actually a pear walnut. So I'm just going to keep mixing this up, getting all incorporated and getting the glumps out of there so there's no big areas of flour. And here I'm going to just drain any excess juice out of that zucchini that's come out while it's been sitting, because I want to not have it dry, but I don't want to have it, soaking in the juice. So there it goes in. And I don't know if you've ever made zucchini bread of any kind, but you don't really taste the zucchini. And with this canned mock pineapple zucchini, it pretty much disintegrates into the dough. It's pretty amazing. It just incorporates flavor and helps with the texture of anything you bake with it. So I'm going to stir that in, and it's looking nice now. Okay, it's time for the blueberries now. I'm going to pat them so they're not dripping in the juice. So they're not quite so wet. Trying not to smush them at the same time. And it's real important when you put in the blueberries or any kind of fruit that you do it by hand and you gently fold it in so that it doesn't turn into a blue mush. You want the blueberries to stand on their own. And there will be some color that comes out. Now to get it ready to go in the oven. Take your pan, whatever size you're using. You could make multiple minis. I'm making one large. Spray it or grease it with some butter and a paper towel. And just put all the mix in there. And then we will spread it out so that it's even. There'll be a little bit of blue, but it's not going to be a blue bread, if that makes sense. So now I'm going to sprinkle some sugar on top. Just makes the top a little crunchy, and I'm using brown sugar so it will caramelize. I put maybe a tablespoon total. You don't need a lot. Now it is ready to go in the oven, and it will cook about 50 minutes when it's this size. Here it is out. It's nice and browned and toasty, crunchy on the outside. Make sure to test the center to make sure that there's no dough there, that it's nice and finished. And now I'm going to slice a piece and go have a cup of tea and a slice of bread. So thank you for watching this, and I hope you enjoy this recipe. And I'll see you next time at Pike Creek Farm.